My name's Emily Kerner, and I'm doing the self-assessment project. If I'm looking at my phone, it's because I screenshotted what's expected to make sure I hit all the points. So the first thing you wanted us to do was talk about the content objectives for the course, and if we have or have not met those. I believe in my case, for the most part, I have the content objectives, like gain an understanding of the relationships between people's assumptions about gender and men and women's life experiences. I think I've really been able to do that one, mostly because like when we go to class, we always talk about these things, and if you are willing to listen and understand and have an open mind about these kind of things, it's easier for you to gain that kind of knowledge, I think. And I don't know what I was expecting coming into this class, but I've been able to learn a lot about how the world perceives gender and how men and women have completely different life experiences and how it can affect how society sees them. The next one, examine the variation in women's experiences both within and without and outside the United States. The last project we did, the colonial history one, was a really good project. I really enjoyed it. The book itself has so much information. I was not aware of what was all in it. And I think that really helped me to understand and put into perspective what kind of a world we live in and what kind of a country that we live in today, and how our experiences here in the United States may not be good compared to some other countries, but those other countries may have something better. For example, like rape and stuff like that, and how women perceive rape here in the United States is way different than how someone would perceive rape like in Africa or something of that nature. Like I did Egypt for my project, and those women didn't think rape was a big deal. Like some people reported it, but most were just like, oh, it's just a thing, it's not a big deal. So I think I've definitely been able to put that into perspective, how different countries have different views about women and that kind of thing. So I definitely met that objective, I believe. Gain some comprehensive ways in which society instructs, organizes, and assumptions about gender. I think just going to this class and listening to the discussions we have within class, you learn a lot about gender and how it's such a broad term nowadays, that I've definitely pretty much met that one. I think I need to work on more about being more open-minded. I still have some ideas that I think that some of my beliefs do not compare to some others, and that's perfectly fine. But I think I need to work more on being open-minded about certain situations, so that's something that I think is important for me to learn. The second part, the theoretical concept. The one I want to talk about was social construction. In the PowerPoint, you talked about how it's like human creates ideas, contrasts with essentialism, connects ideas, active and historical processes. What I think today is a pretty big social construct is like family and marriage. Society has its own view about what marriage and family should look like, and it's just not that way anymore. Families and marriages are so different nowadays. Especially now we have gay marriage, and so things like that. They didn't have that, so everything's been developed throughout society, and it's constructing and changing as we grow. So I think the idea of family and marriage is pretty unique, and definitely involves self-construct. I think that that's a big part of self-construction. I think that in society, that's developed and changed as we've gone along. So I think that that's the construct that I think is really important, and it's been changing as we go. And I think it'll continue to develop as long as the world keeps changing and ideas keep changing and evolving into more modern ways of thinking. The last one you wanted to talk about was the ethics and social responsibility. So for the most part, that was understanding the historical and philosophical basis of ethics and decisions. So this says that it's basically to be a responsible citizen. I think I've really done a great job at that. I would find myself to be pretty open and open-minded about a lot of things, and I think that it's important in order to be a good citizen to be open-minded about the things that are changing in the world. And today, there's so many things that are changing: religion, race, like a gender. Gender is such a broad term nowadays. It used to be so specific, and now it's so broad. I think it's a good idea, in order to be a responsible citizen, to be responsible in the way you go about thinking about things. And the fact that I feel like I'm a pretty open-minded person, I think that I'm pretty well equipped to meet that category in a specific way. So for ethics and social responsibility objectives, I feel like I've done a pretty good job about that. Like I said, there's definitely room for more building. I definitely have more improvement I can do. But for the most part, I feel like this class has opened my mind to a whole bunch of different terms and ideas that I hadn't really heard about before. I took this class because I was interested in learning about topics that were hard to talk about. Rape, sex, like transgenders, like we're talking about now. I think it's interesting to talk about those things whenever some people find it completely uncomfortable. I think that makes it really important, and I think it's important to learn about. So that's the reason I took the course. I wanted to learn more about it. And I think this class has definitely helped me to become a better person and a more open-minded person about this kind of thing. So yeah, that's my self-assessment. My name's Emily Kerner. Thank you.